Hey, what's going on out there? You are listening to I Don't Want to Watch That. Where are you listening to it? I don't fucking know. You can get it on iTunes. You can get it on Stitcher. You can get it on Spotify. You can follow us on Twitter at Don't Want to Watch. The O and Don't is a 0 because some dickbag took that shit a couple of years ago and never used it. So it just ruined it for us and our stupid little podcast that 17 people listen to. You can find us at Don't Want to Watch on Instagram, and most importantly, the website itself is don'twantowatch.com, and that's Wanna with a W-A-N-N-A, because Want to Watch was taken by some other jerk-off who doesn't use it properly. That's all I got. This is it, though. This is the postseason.
Yeah.
We're in the playoffs right now for season 2, Real Housewives of New York. Reunion episodes. And, man, there was a lot of fucking beef to recap. And as
it was a recap of the recap.
It's the recap of the recap. So we're recapping, like, chunks of episodes, and then all of a sudden we're watching them recap the whole seasons, and we're recapping the recap. As we were watching them, I was actually kind of thinking of some ways we could do it a little bit better on our recap on the reunion episodes, because
great way to discuss that.
I know, yeah. So let's discuss it live right now with the microphones on. So the last, because I was thinking about it because we literally just finished watching both of the episodes. So as I was watching, I was like, man, I was nervous about the episode. I was like, I was thinking of other cool shit we could do, but we would have had it done it already. But I was thinking, we could, for the next time we get to a reunion, just be like, what are like the top 3 things we want them to recap and how we think they're going to handle it. And then so, because talking about the reunion itself, the ladies are pretty much saying like, all we need to say, because it's really just them talking shit and us like, and then, But anyway, I'm just popping this out.
Guess what, guys? We're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not doing that this time.
We're doing it next time.
Yeah, so a lot of this is also just popped out of my head right now because when a microphone turns on, I just get diarrhea of the mouth. So that's a thing that happens also.
And I just sit here and listen.
No, you don't do that. You guide and
No, I mean listen to the diarrhea that comes out of your mouth.
Oh yeah, like once the diarrhea starts, sometimes
I don't
it's hard
stop
to
you.
stop.
I just let you go.
No, absolutely. Just give me the shovel. Let me keep digging holes.
Yeah.
Talking about fun and interesting things we could be doing, but we're not. But yeah, we'll do that next time, I think.
Okay.
Maybe open it up with like a little pre-show. We'll record one part of it before we watch the reunions, because like as I was watching it, I was like, just like, yeah, get him, girl, like, shit like that. Like I was like, yeah, you tell the fucking Bethany, yeah, everybody gang up on Kelly, yeah. So, but I was like, what the fuck are we gonna say? Just everybody hates Kelly, which is awesome, and just cheer that on. So we're just gonna dive through the recap.
It's really just talking about their reactions to everything.
Yeah, of course, but so that's what I'm saying. Like my brain was doing while we were watching some of it, like in the background. It was like, yo, what are you gonna talk about? It's like, yo, what's going on there? What else can you be doing? So I'm just saying that's some shit that was popping off in the back of my brain while we were watching.
Okay. So I wrote. So the first thing that I wrote, my first note was, Jill got a breast reduction and has been asking everybody to look at her new boobs.
Yo, I thought it was really funny how Bethany was like, yeah, and my doorman thinks they're great, and the cab driver who took us over here, he thought they were excellent too. Like, just like insinuating like Jill's just going around town showing them to anybody that's willing to look. And I didn't, like, I wrote down that like, hey, we started off talking about Jill and Bethany's boobs each. So
do you know anybody that's ever had like a breast reduction or like fake boobs? Or implants?
I'll tell you what. I'm going to flip that question back to you and say, do I?
I don't know. I mean, I know somebody.
I don't know anybody in my real life who, that I know of that has had any of that work done, but I would assume you would probably know or have a better eye for it than I would. So do I know anybody that's had that work done?
Yeah, I'm not going to call them out.
I'm not saying you should, but the answer is yes?
Yeah.
So there's somebody I know that's had that done?
Yes, you're not, like, very good friends with them, but you know
of a human being that's had that work done?
Yeah.
Okay.
And usually, I feel like women that get their boobs done, and I only really know, I'm trying to think if I know of anybody else. I know a couple of people, and they're very proud of them.
I would imagine so.
You want people to see them. You spend a lot of money on them. You want...
Exactly, yeah. Like, you don't drive around your car in, like plastic, like wrap. It's all, it's covered. Like, everybody's car...
Freedom titties.
Yeah, show them. Like, put them on the glass, as I think Two Live Crew used to say. That's how old I am.
Remember Whip 'em Out Wednesday?
Oh, man. Opie and Anthony.
Shout out. That's Bless an up. Old school
That's old
shout
school
out.
Shit.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
that has nothing to do with... Well, it does have something to do with New York and boobs.
I guess. And yeah. There was
nostalgia.
It was a strange time in my life, too. I remember when it first started, I thought they were weirdos. And then I remember at the tail end when I was like, these guys are great. And now I look back and I'm like, those guys were dummies. And I only like their people that revolved around them.
My dad used to listen to them on Q1043 every single fucking morning when he would drive me to school. And it was totally inappropriate.
It would have to be on XM or super later on in your life if it was the morning, because I think they did afternoon drive when they were early on.
Okay, so it was afternoon.
Because in the mornings it was Howard Stern. And
right.
There was somebody in the middle.
On 104.3?
I think on 92.3. Back when 92.3 was the classic rock stage. Or
no, it was never K-Rock. You're thinking of K-Rock. It was never 92.3 was never the classic rock station.
Well, yeah, that might, I think it's 104.3.
104.3,
right. Yeah.
But it may have been in the afternoon. I just remember it being like
very odd.
Listening to it in my car in the car with my dad.
They were one of the original shock jocks when that whole thing was like the craze that was shaping the nation. And like right around Howard Stern and after that. But they, just for reference, if you don't know who they are, they eventually got fired because they encouraged people to go have sex in public New York places, and people got caught having sex in St. Patrick's Cathedral.
That's right.
And that's why they got fired.
Oh my gosh.
But then they popped back up on Sirius Radio. That I know way too much about their careers. I don't know why.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up.
No.
Because we were talking about whipping out boobs.
Yes,
made me think of Whip It Out Wednesday.
So the second thing that I wrote down, that my second takeaway was Bethany and A-Rod?
Yeah.
Was that like a real thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Bethany dated a lot of people. Like, when she was coming up, this is when she started to become, like, right before her career, like, really took off with, like, her food brand and all that. She was dating, I mean...
Really?
Yeah.
She was playing the field, as they so eloquently put it, when she was denying A-Rod. Not necessarily denying, just not confirming A-Rod rumors.
I mean, who didn't date somebody from the Yankees?
Who didn't date A-Rod? I know, right?
Like, everybody...
Madonna,
everybody dated A-Rod.
I saw a meme today because I think A-Rod proposed to J-Lo, and I saw a thing today that was like, oh, J-Lo's got more rings than Tom Brady now. That's my sports twist that I put on this thing. So that go for her, get out there, play the field, do your thing, girl. You're out there, I say it every week, yelling at billionaires. You can date whoever you want. I don't care.
Yeah, she's.
So and then we learn about
Luann breaking up with the Count.
And the Count. That's kind of a shame, but I wouldn't have laughed at it otherwise. But she broke that. It happened via email. Like, I'm sorry, that's kind of ridiculous. And he also left her apparently for an Ethiopian woman who's claiming to be a princess. Yeah. I am really gonna have to go look up some of these old tabloid magazines. Yeah. And it's worth it. I wonder if there's old Perez Hilton blogs about this shit too.
Probably, yeah.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go dive so deep into trashy news because there's nothing else to do right now. So that was crazy. Anything else?
I mean, no, nothing really about that. She broke up with, the Count. She's still a countess. Yes. She still gets to retain that title.
That was my big question, so I was pleased that Andy asked that immediately.
Mm-hmm. She's still going to retain that title. But that's all really I had to say about that.
I like young Andy Cohen's hair, too. That was interesting.
Salt and pepper.
Yeah, he looked like he was trying to be like a goofier George Clooney. I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know why I pulled that up. Anyway.
A goofier George Clooney.
Yeah. He's like a sillier George Clooney.
Okay.
Both in looks and personality, obviously. I don't know. I'm just making things up.
Got it.
She's just letting me hang myself with all the rope she's providing.
Say she's giggling because it's true. Alex got laid off from her job.
Yep, the economy.
Yeah,
hit
and
home.
yeah,
hit home
God,
in the
it's like
Housewives.
looking in a mirror with what's going on now. Everybody talking about the economy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, seriously.
She's gonna go into consulting. I guess her first gig was for this store second time around, which I actually I don't think it's around anymore. But
So they're waiting for the third time around?
Hey,
you knew exactly where I was going.
Yeah. But
I saw your eyes roll before I said third.
But I do remember that store. That store, there was one in the east side, like in the 30s, and there was another one up all the way uptown. And it was like a high-end vintage store.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. So I could see her totally consulting it for a brand like that.
Well, obviously Simon will be doing all the work.
Hey.
Well, because he's doing the one picking out the clothes.
Yeah, I know.
From there, we dive into
fucking Kelly, man.
Beating up people, and
Yeah.
you can tell the time, like if I had to Google like the age of the show because they were like, Kelly was the Chris Brown in this instance. And I was
Which,
like,
that's like a very severe reference,
yes.
and I was like, okay.
And it was also dated.
Gotta be careful, with like what how you handle situations like that, because there's two sides to every story, obviously.
But she was guilty.
Yeah. And from what we read.
No, like we paused it and looked it up because even Mare forgot about it. And she, it was like not embellished. It was like, the dude was just like, she punched me in the face. And I could see that.
I mean, and you know what? And, in her defense, imagine some dude is like obsessing over you, following you, stalking you. I mean, maybe she's making all that up, but
that's true too.
She could have felt like she needed to and it sounded when she fucking said, when she was talking about it, she's like, I never put my hands on anybody unless I needed to.
Yeah.
she
threw that
hard.
In. But I think she threw that in because maybe she felt she needed to at that point.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like it didn't sound like he pulled like an Edward Norton in Fight Club, getting himself fired, like beat the shit out of himself, and then walked to the police station like a.
Oh, I'm not saying that. No.
Yeah,
but
no, I know
and
you're not.
I'm not defending violence by any means, but I'm saying if you're in a situation where a man, somebody of a female feels threatened, then
No, I absolutely hear you. I'm just saying, from
fight or
what
flight.
we read, it wasn't
sure.
the dude embellished anything.
I don't believe anything that comes out of her mouth.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, like it didn't sound like the dude embellished anything. The police report said one punch and that was
a cut or something,
cut under his eye, stuff like that. And I don't see a guy making that up. Like like that's, I don't know, it's weird. I don't see a guy reporting it though either, so that's kind of weird.
Well, I mean, look at her.
Unless you're trying to get something.
She attracts like a lot of weird. She's a fucking weirdo.
I know. Look at the castmates. So the funny thing about that was at the end of her telling the whole story, getting super emotional, Luann just goes, "Well, we know he's not a gentleman." I just thought that was very funny.
And Kelly also got in trouble for stealing somebody's Owl's design. I guess like an intern that worked for Elle Accessories magazine.
Yeah.
Stole that young intern's design, which does not surprise me whatsoever.
No, not at all.
Not even in the slightest.
No.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest, in Kelly's position, she could have come up with she could have probably put like 4 circles. Yeah. And been like, oh, this is me.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Whatever. This is Kelly time. And it would have been fucking flown off. But she just she probably in her own head thinks she even came up with it. But I bet that intern was like toiling around. And she's convinced herself through mental gymnastics like, well, I was her supervisor. So technically anything created under me is mine. Something stupid like that. I like
your Kelly voice.
I don't even know if that's a Kelly voice. It's just a fucking woman I hate voice. And I just, you know what I'm saying? So, fuck her and her owls. I could have went with the Dumb and Dumber joke and said fuck her and her Hooters.
Hey, more boob jokes.
Yes. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah, I did write down Kelly getting sued for owls. So then they start talking about Ramona's skincare line and the way like Bethany critiqued it, and everyone was like, I just wanted you to be happy for me first. That's
yeah,
it.
and I get
that.
Yeah. In Ramona's way, like.
And it's funny too because that's exactly what Bethany did to Luann, or
what Luann did to Bethany,
Luann
when she got the magazine.
Season 1 with the magazine, instead of being like, "Yo, great job, you gotta touch you up," shit like that. So, but Bethany was an adult about it. She fucking owns all the bullshit, and she apologized for it. But the funny thing about that was when Ramona was like, "I've been working on it for a year and a half," and Jill was like, "A year and a half?
No,
what?
No.
When did you start?
Yeah, no.
Tell me when you started.
Yeah, the timeline doesn't make sense.
Yeah. She just basically beat Ramona down. So Ramona
you're
was
wrong.
Like, maybe I got the date wrong. Okay, now shut up. Let's move.
Yeah.
Oh, it was fucking funny.
And then they talk about the Ramona and Luann beef at the American Cancer Society. They rehashed that again. And Luann really... and here's the thing. Do you remember initially when, you first saw that scene, Luann was kind of like skirting around the issues, that issue of like Ramona was not invited. She was like trying to be very polite, that Ramona just showed up. Yeah. To help, which is nice. It's great, of course. But why
didn't she want her there?
Because she was worried Ramona would open her big mouth. She didn't want to see her big mouth in action.
She did.
And she said, and lo and behold, that's exactly what Ramona did.
But it all came out that, Ramona was just...
getting back at her.
Yes, exactly. Which is a childish fucking thing to do.
And I love it.
The more... And we talk about Mario later, but, like, they are just fucking babies, the two of them. Like, they bug me, but they do intrigue me.
And honestly, Mario bothers me. I don't really like Mario that much. But coming from Ramona, I know how, like, I know her journey. Like, I've watched, obviously, I'm all caught up on the seasons. I can't help but love her. I don't know what it is about. Sometimes she's so fucking awful, but, like...
No, I don't...
She is who she is.
Don't take my comments as, like, not loving Ramona. I do I definitely enjoy Ramona.
Because she's your mother.
Yeah, my mom would say shit like that and do shit like that and remember little shit like that.
Yeah. I was getting back at you.
But one thing my mother wouldn't do is show up at a place unless she was explicitly invited.
That's true.
Yeah, she would not. In fact, even if she was, like, half invited, she wouldn't show up. If she felt the invite was based on pity, she would be like, I'm not going to that. They didn't want me there in the first place. So there was some differences. We're learning along the years. Yeah, so what do you got next coming up?
Well, Ramona basically being mad at Luann. Why she wanted to get back at her was because she felt like everybody knew Luann's marriage was a mess and falling apart, and she was pretending like it wasn't, and they're on a reality show, and you got to show everything.
Yeah.
And Luann was keeping it private.
And everybody kind of chimed in on that, and they felt like... And to be fair, like, I feel like Luann... I don't necessarily believe she meant her apology, but she did apologize for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was like, yo, I'm not perfect. I'm not claiming to be perfect.
Yeah.
But when you make the critiques that you do...
Right.
It really fucking seems that way.
Right, yeah.
You can't be picking on everybody's shit. And, like, exactly. They were just talking about it like, yo... Ramona was giving out some dating advice that you are now taking. Yeah. Like, you are in the midst of doing... You were full... I don't want to say full-throated because that sounds like it's a bad situation, but you were fully in the throes of all of that.
Well, it's interesting to kind of watch, too, like, who shows, like, their full, authentic selves on the show, which I don't think, obviously, not every one of them do.
Yeah.
But like, who would you...
There's a percentage.
Right. Who would you say is the most... authentic?
I would say Bethany.
Uh-huh.
I would say Ramona, because Ramona just has no other choice.
Yeah.
I would say Jill.
Uh-huh.
I would probably say Alex, but unintentionally.
Okay.
Actually, I would maybe bump Kelly up there because Kelly's her true self, but she doesn't realize that herself is a fucking space alien.
It's awful.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't even realize that, like, she's showing her complete alien self. Yeah, and then Alex is real, but I think unintentionally. And Luann, I think, is probably one of the faker ones on the entire deal. Like, it's not fake because it's almost like there's two of her. Like there's anytime that something goes against like etiquette, like she will jump down somebody else's throat, but at the same time she does not live by those rules. Yeah. So that's why I think she's like the fakest.
All right, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll revisit this.
Okay, we can absolutely. What else we got going on here?
Let's see. Alex calls out Bethany for being nicey to everybody's face and then talking mad shit behind their back in the confessional.
To be fair, I think there was a little grain of truth in that one. I think Bethany does say it to a lot of
grain
people's
of truth.
faces.
I think Alex was right.
I think she was right, but like Bethany was explaining, like a lot of the shit she said to Simon, and maybe it didn't get back to Alex. But yeah, I could see her purposely maybe not like telling Alex because she does think that she's one of her better friends, but she's making a little joke still in the confessional.
Right, yeah.
Alright, yeah, I can see that. Alright.
Kelly isn't a girl's girl.
Kelly's fucking lame.
God.
Kelly's I have 3 close friends. I don't need you.
What is that?
So what are you doing here?
What does that mean to you?
What?
When somebody says that girl is not a girl's girl.
I mean, I could see her being like Kelly, yeah.
Yeah, but what does that mean to you?
To me, that means
like, what's a girl's girl?
Closer guy friends. She probably gets along with better. She doesn't have a lot of girlfriends. And so I could see that being Kelly, but she vehemently denied it when they were accused of it. And I think it would explain a lot, too. But she vehemently denied it.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that, too, because I was like, all right, well, I'm trying to put myself in Kelly's shoes. Because in the world that she's in, so, like, fashion design and fashion and, you know, like, Page 6 and all that, the social life, it's very, like, I feel it's very phony and fake, and a lot of men hold the power in that realm, right?
Okay. So
it's a lot of male designers. It's a lot of male designers. It's a lot of, like, that's the role that's important.
But, like,
so I think...
Okay.
No, so I think she's just, you know, she in my eyes, she's playing the game, and any other female is a threat.
I understand what you're saying, and that's probably I think that what you said at the end is more likely that she sees other females as competition in her world more than that it's male dominated, because it depends.
And these
on
are all
level.
Generalizations I'm making.
No,
I don't really know anything about
what I was going to say
the hierarchy, but that's how I feel.
What I was going to say was it's almost like a rank structure, like, and people have their jobs, like the models are, you know, in her world are majority female, the photographers are majority male, and the people doing the designing are probably half and half, maybe more men. You think?
Yeah, I would say
so. But like, it's intermingling. It's like fraternization. I'm thinking about it like the military. Like, so she in theory should be closer with the girls that are on her level, but I think what you said at the end of what you were saying is probably the more true thing. Like, she sees them as competition.
Yeah.
So she's trying to befriend the people making the decisions and shit on the competition. So she's probably been doing that her whole life and doesn't realize it.
Right.
Yeah. All right, I feel you.
Yeah.
And through her success, she's created her own bubble. This is Analysis with Mike.
And Mare.
Yeah. So let's see what else we got there.
I wrote down. Okay, so then they break down all the fights over pretty much the whole season. I mean, not that they didn't before that, but I wrote Ramona and Jill fight.
Yep.
That's what I wrote.
Oh, that's it?
I don't have any other notes other than
Ramona and Jill had, like, some big beef. Like, they always do, though. So they get off. They were talking about, like, the tennis thing. They were talking about a lot of stuff.
I also have noticed how, like, Jill will defend Bethany to the death.
Yeah.
That is her homegirl.
They're boys.
Yeah, they...
Fight. Ride or dies. And I wrote down that Jill and Bethany handled their beef like the biggest adults, and
That's a true friendship.
Yeah, and it just didn't, like, even at the reunion, like, there was no recap of the beef. There was no nothing. It was just like, nah, we're cool now. Move on.
No, there was a little recap. They showed the fight.
Recap, but the recap didn't have anything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they just touched on it.
And, well, yeah, they said who was the instigator of that whole thing? Ramona.
Yeah, and then they both
went in on Ramona.
Yeah.
Who, again, wanted to get... Oh, no, I guess she didn't want to get back at anybody in that.
No, she was just being Ramona. With a little messed up bun.
That fucking bun. We gotta get a picture of that.
The disheveled bun.
Yeah.
Did you talk about Ramona, how they asked her about Simon, and they were like, yo, you maybe got a crush on him? Because I thought that I wrote that down because it was very funny, because I think I said the same thing. I might have said it last episode.
Does Ramona have a crush on Simon?
Yeah, when they were dancing when he was in his red leather pants like a fucking maniac.
I don't know if she necessarily has a crush on him, but I think that she's certainly triggered by their relationship, for sure. I don't know if it's jealousy. I don't know if it creeps her out. I don't know if it's a combination of things, because I feel like Simon...
I think his comfortableness with, like...
Women?
Maybe women.
He crosses a lot of boundaries.
Or fashion or
and
whatever.
Like, his sexuality is whatever.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, if he is bisexual or pansexual, whatever, who cares? Especially back then, like, I could see him coming out and saying that today and it not being that big of a deal, but like back then it was still, that kind of stuff was a big deal.
Yeah, I think it would have went over okay.
No, not back then.
Yeah, I feel like it was 20 years ago, but I think 10 years ago it was still pretty much okay.
It's almost 20 years ago.
That's like 11.
No, it's got to be more.
It's like 2008. When did the show start? Right now it's 2020, and we're barely into it, and it's
right,
fucking nightmare.
Maybe 11, 12 years.
Yeah, exactly.
But all I'm saying is, like, I think Ramona could... Simon is very, very much... obsessed with Alex to a point where it's like, is that real? Like, are you overcompensating something?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Maybe dudes in Australia are different like that. Maybe they're all like I don't know. Maybe he's fucking a crocodile to Steve Irwin, and she's his crocodile. Who knows? That's the only people I know in Australia.
I know. I'm just trying to break down like why Ramona would be so affected. I mean, they certainly got a reaction out of us.
They, as in Alex and
Simon, yeah, how they behave.
Yeah, because they behave ridiculously.
Yeah, like, and it makes you uncomfortable, right? It's like uncomfortable to watch. Like when they're talking, when she's trying on dresses and he's like, give me a little wiggle. Oh,
that's weird. Yeah,
I would fucking kick you in the nuts if you said that to me in a store.
I might say in front of people.
Joking, yeah, no. I think
he was dead serious.
It's one thing to say in front of the cameras, but it's like, I don't know.
And that wouldn't be my first joke in the store. I would have had to lead up to several other jokes with the attendants or whatever, and then I would have felt comfortable making that joke. And it would have depended on how those first couple of jokes. Like I would have did like test jokes first.
Test things.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was edited, so we don't know what his test jokes were in the beginning. I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that the way they behave with one another in front of the cameras is a little showy, and it makes it doesn't feel natural at all.
I was more disgusted by their talk about society in season 1 than I was with their relationship displays in season 2.
They grow on you.
I'm not saying just because they didn't talk about how they're trying to climb the ladder to success.
Right, because obviously they knew. Anywhere. Yeah, because it was talked about all the time. It was like so gross in the first season.
Yeah, so they probably shut their mouths about it.
Yeah, but their display of affection. Listen, their display of affection disgusts me.
Yeah.
And I'm defending Ramona.
Kelly could have been...
I feel like... Let me finish my thought, all right? Sorry. I want to barrel through this right now. Bad. I like... Here, this is why I like Ramona so much. She will try and give somebody a chance, but if she don't like you, she ain't going to play nicey-nicey.
I ain't fucking with you like that.
She's not going to fuck with you. She doesn't want to be around you. And I feel like I do that sometimes, too. Like, if there's somebody that, like, I don't like, or why am I wasting my breath on you?
No.
I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah,
I don't want to look at you. I don't want to be near you. I don't want you to be in my social circle. Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to pay any attention to you. And there are, like, that's what I respect about Ramona. It may come off a little fucked up, but I like that she is truly, in this season, not a phony.
Okay. And I hear you. I understand exactly what you're saying. The thing that I was trying to say was more respect to the power rankings. Like, Kelly could have come in this season and been just a human being who lives on this planet, and she would have beat out Alex.
Yeah, but
she does not live on this planet, and she's the worst. And
yeah.
It's not even entertaining the worst. It's like, I want to fucking find her just to tell her she's wrong the worst.
The worst.
Like, it's almost like a mission because
she doesn't change at all.
I can't imagine if she does.
Next season, woo!
Is that are these the only two seasons she's in?
We have her next season, and I think she did a third season. Or I can't remember. It may only be 2 seasons.
Okay, God, I hope
but
it's
next
only
season,
2. Well, I mean,
the list of crazies just gets longer and longer as we get into it.
Oh,
So
my God, I can't wait.
I forgot how crazy Kelly was. We're gonna be introduced to a couple of other cuckoo crazies next season.
Very exciting.
They all blend together for me. But next season is my favorite because we're introduced to Sonia.
Okay.
And we take a visit to Scary Island. I cannot fucking wait for Scary Island. Really? I am so excited to watch.
Is that like the first vacation? Because you keep talking about the vacations.
Vacation episodes are the best.
Okay. All right. Speaking of vacation episodes, we were thinking about, speaking of things to do for the podcast, we were thinking about just saying, all right, 1, 2, 3, hit play, and then we'll play it.
Having a watch party?
Yeah. So, like, you could watch it with us if you wanted, all 4 of you. And, just something stupid like that. And obviously we couldn't play the audio, but we would just, like...
Well, we could watch it.
It would be on the TV that we're in the room now, and we would just talk during the episode.
Would we have a camera on us and our reactions, or just the TV?
No, we would
be our
record
audio?
this, yeah. And then hit play.
Would it be like Mystery Science Theater 3000, where it would just be our silhouettes?
We could do that. I could set something like that.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, we could probably do that. But we would have to blur the TV screen because we wouldn't be able to show the video. Stupid YouTube copyright laws.
Oh, okay, got it. Well, what if we did a live? Why are we discussing this on air?
Anyway, we'll talk
on
about
air.
So we learned that Jill is Kelly's favorite.
Which I could see.
Yeah, I can see that too. I was shocked though because I thought she was going to say Luann. Because they had that.
No, but guess what?
No, I know. Once she didn't show up for the party, Luann's like one and done with your social etiquette in his circle. No, I know.
And then apparently they got beef even after that.
Exactly. So I didn't realize that was all
Kelly
going down.
fucking walking in the other direction when she sees Luann at parties.
Yeah, shit got real between them two, and they started out pretty hot.
Yeah,
they started out pretty good.
Then they go in on Luann again. Luann and her whole countess thing that she's one person.
Yeah.
About when it comes to etiquette and dropping her snarky remarks and advice, and then she's another person like grabbing Bethany's date's balls.
How is it that so many people are just out there grabbing balls? How do we not hear about this?
I mean,
we know people that grab balls. And that's just, it's ridiculous. Like there should be like a Me Too about ball grabbing.
Yeah.
Should. I mean, my balls have never been grabbed. So I guess I'm one of the lucky ones. But I
mean, your balls have never been grabbed.
I mean, I'm just saying, my balls have never been grabbed, like, unwantingly.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I've never been in, like,
I grab your balls.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I've never been standing around in a conversation and then had my balls grabbed by somebody else, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Like, jeez. Everybody knows you grab my balls. I
don't want the kids to listen to this.
Yeah, I know. You're the one who said it.
We're talking about ball grabbing.
I know. So what else? What's next on your agenda there?
Ramona really wants Luann to be who she is. To just be herself.
Yes.
She loves her. She's a wonderful, she likes that Luann. Bullshit. Yeah. Just be yourself. Oh, God, the charity beef. They recapped the charity beef again, and Kelly's 2 cents on that. And it was like, it's not important. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Or some shit like, who cares? I'm getting bored. And it was like...
Oh, my gosh.
All right.
That was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I just couldn't... Like, everybody who's watching the thing cares. Like, everybody that was just, like, in the room was just like, are you fucking serious right now? It's like, I'm bored. It's like, Jesus Christ, then fucking leave. Please. Yeah. Do everybody a favor and just fucking get out of there.
But she doesn't.
I know. And to be honest, I'm glad she doesn't, because I'm glad we have, like, a bad guy. Like, that everybody hates. So I'm actually going to be interested in next season to see how she fits in with everybody who obviously hates her. And Alex seemed to do it well last year, because she was the whipping or the lightning rod or the whipping boy, whatever you want to call it, last reunion.
She was pretty quiet this reunion.
She was, yeah. She did chime in the one time, and she was like, excuse me, what I heard was...
Yeah, when she was breaking down the beef. Yeah.
Here and here, if you would have just articulated yourself a little bit better, then she would have just apologized.
Yeah,
and
she called that bitch inarticulate.
Yeah, she was like, so you just, pardon my saying, but just for lack of a better phrase, inarticulate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tried to be the mom right there.
Yeah, Alex was pretty quiet this season.
Yeah. And I was actually thinking to myself, like, in that whole second recap, or the second reunion episode, I think that was the only time she talked.
Yeah.
Like, it was when she stopped
She didn't
everybody.
really cause that much drama. And honestly, like, what drama is she really going to have other than, like, her husband releasing those nude photos? Which they harped on, right? They still had that beef.
Yep.
Which they talk about.
Alex stood her ground that Ramona's a hypocrite.
Yeah. Yeah, moving into Real Housewives of New York City. We can actually, good segue. Yeah, it was Simon and Mario against Jill.
Yeah.
Right? They both had their beef, and then it was Mario, Simon, Ramona, and Alex, and their beef over the photos, where they doubled down on the "you are a hypocrite" to Mario and Ramona.
And I appreciate Alex and Simon standing up to Ramona and Mario.
Yeah, I do too.
It's like the little guy speaking truth to power.
Yeah. Oh, that was the alarm to give Ray her medicine.
All right. We're good for a few minutes. And then they went through a big chunk of time on the husbands.
Right.
And then they dove right back into Kelly and Bethany.
Yeah, man.
Do you think it'll ever be friends? And Bethany was just like, I don't know, maybe if she, turns into a human being that lives on planet Earth with the rest of us, then maybe I'd go to lunch with her. I don't know, maybe. Yeah. And Kelly's just sitting there like, Bethany, come on.
You're an amazing girl. Yeah.
You're so beautiful and successful.
You're a fox.
Yeah.
That's what she called her, a fox.
You're a fox. Oh, my God. And it was just, and then they beat up Kelly a bunch more about her Halloween party.
Yeah, which, she deserved it.
Absolutely. She was an hour and 45 minutes late. She was saying, like, yo, I texted you. It's like, yeah, you texted me at 10:45 saying that you were about to be there, and if it started at 9, that's when the fuck I got there.
I am never late for a party. It's
Especially
very rude.
When you're throwing.
Yeah, one that you're throwing to.
Get ready at the party.
People that are late are usually very self-centered.
Yeah. They're pieces of shit, like Bethany said.
I wouldn't go that far, but...
Bethany said it.
Well, yeah. People that are late, they think that your time their time is more important than yours, so...
Yeah. That shit is not the truth. There's a dog laying here.
Aww.
That dog is dead.
Oh my God, our dog is just laying on her back.
But that recaps the recap, I think, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't have any other notes outside of that, other than...
No, so who did you think, winners and losers in the recap? I think the winner was Bethany and the loser was Kelly. There was nobody else there to pick from except for Housewives, so.
Yeah, I'd go along with that.
And the final power rankings of season 2, the only 2 people who swapped were Ramona and Jill. So I got Bethany first still. I think it's going to take a lot to get Bethany out of the number 1 spot.
I would agree. I don't know, next season you're going to meet Sonia.
Okay. Okay.
Sonia is wonderful, but the polar opposite of Bethany.
Okay. Is she more like a Bethany Ramona combo? Because that's something I could get behind.
Her best friend is Ramona.
Ooh. Okay, so outside of Ramona, so she's part Ramona.
Yeah.
And then who else would be like if she was like a pie chart of the existing people in this season? Who would she be? Like, get me up to 100%. Like a third Ramona, a third Bethany, a third Luann.
She's her own person.
Okay.
She's not like anybody. She's wonderful. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I'm very interested.
She's wonderful.
Do we meet her right off the get-go, right off the bat?
Honestly, I don't remember.
I mean, I have to think it's gonna be like almost Kelly getting introduced, where we're just gonna be watching the
and then
opening thing.
I think
there's gonna be like a Sonia out there.
I
like,
want to say
New York's the Big Apple, and I'm taking a bite or some stupid shit.
I
like
want to
that.
say Sonia throws a party.
Okay.
And they all go to it. I think maybe Luann was the one.
Brought her in?
That brought her in, yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. Yes. So Luann, Sonia, and Ramona, they all hang in like the same, you'll see. Like their circle. Yeah.
That's going to be very interesting. So we got Bethany. I got Jill moved up outside of Ramona because she seemed to have a head on her shoulders during the reunion. So I bumped her back up again. Defending Bethany always helps. And then I got Ramona, Luann, Alex, and fucking the worst, Kelly. So that's it. That's season 2.
Wow.
In a nutshell. I don't know. What do we do? 6-episode nutshell. So, one of the things we never say is, rate, review, and share. But you should do that. That's, the standard line for people that are trying to put their bullshit out there.
Yeah, we want to know if what we're doing is good or not.
Yeah, so rate, review, share on iTunes or wherever you're listening to this. Stitcher, Spotify, you can find it there. Once again, still don't know if it's on Google Podcasts or not. It might be. We talked about it last time. I'm not sure. If you're listening to it there, feel free to tweet us at Don't Want to Watch with the O and don't as a 0 because of that fuckface. Or on Instagram, send us like a DM or some shit, Don't Want to Watch, or leave a comment, some bullshit. Let us know you're enjoying it. Come on. But that's it. Don'tWannaWatch.com, Don'tWannaWatchThat.com, all that bullshit.
Cool.
Cool?
Cool.
All right,
season 3 is coming up, guys.
Yeah, we'll probably get the first episode out this weekend.
Hope you're staying safe.
Keep your hands washed, stay inside,
staying healthy.
Mask, gloves, blah, 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 flatten the curve. All right, later.
Bye.